With me today is Franca Ibuzo, who will be taking you on this journey together. And we trust that we would, like, you're safe in our hands, and we trust that we would all have a very wonderful session today. So, we are excited about today's session, particularly because our speaker is a veteran. So she's going to tell us almost everything she knows. So, like almost everything, I'm just hoping that the time is going to be enough for her to pour out everything she needs to for us. She has so much already that she wants to tell us for today. But before we start, I would like to just say hello to all the attendees. Hello, Chukwuike Cephas. Hello, Grace. Hello, John. Hello, Miriam. Omafe. Ohefe. That's Efe. Yes, Sherilyn. Hello. If you are able to drop a chat in the box, please say hello. You can drop an emoji. Let's know you're here with us. Okay, I can see some emojis. Hello, John. Okay, I see that we are here together. Thank you. Thank you. So today is the fourth of our sessions of our AI for All sessions. So the first session was on introduction to AI. Second session was on prompt engineering. And the third session was on AI and security. And today is our fourth session. Today we'll be talking about, we use productivity tools. So today we are empowering ourselves on how to use productivity tools how to use AI with these productivity tools to increase our efficiency at home, at work, and even at play. So let's go on this journey together, and I'll hand it over to Madam Franca to lead us in.
Hello, everyone. You're all welcome to this session. I'm sure you're going to really enjoy today's session. With our speaker, we popularly call her MJ. Yeah, you're all welcome. Okay, about us, Textilers was founded in May 30th, 2020. Textilers is a community focused on supporting women who desire growth in technology. We are ladies with amazing superpower with the ability to use technology skills to solve real life problems. Our vision is to bring more women into technology by empowering them with tech skills through training and mentorship. So if you haven't really joined the community, please join us. And I'm going to go through some housekeeping rules. This session will be recorded and will be made available for future viewing. Please mute your microphone when you're not talking. Pen down your question until the Q&A session. Or you could also put your questions on the chat. We'll go through them. And follow us on our social media handles.
Okay, so in terms of the announcements, I would like you to join our team of volunteers and mentors. This is the link. We'll drop our link in the chat box so that we can join us. For those, if you have your friends that would like to join the community, please join the community. We'll also have dropped our handles and the forms to fill in the chat, in the chat message. The session continues next week, so it is a seven series session. So we'll have another session again next week on building Copilot. Very exciting. Before you leave today, we would like you to engage in the AI skills challenge. It started this week, 24th, and it's ending on the 1st of November 2024. We have the link available also for all of us. So while we are learning about AI, we also like us to challenge ourselves to even know what is, to test ourselves in all that we have learned and all that we are learning. So we encourage you to join the challenge by Microsoft. So you need to have a Microsoft Learn account to do that. So these are the link is going to be available to all of us. Also, our conference comes up in October 26th. It's going to be big and massive. And we have a lot of guests available for us, diverse speakers available for us. Join us on social media, as Madam Franca has said, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Where are you that we are not? I mean, we have presence. Are we on WhatsApp? We have a website, we have TikTok, we have Instagram. So please join us and let's continue all our conversations there. For the AI for All session, it's been designed for you and I, and it's all about it's a lifelong skill. We're not trying to train you for an exam or train you for a certification in particular, but we're trying to let you know that you can use it to enhance creativity, enhance work, enhance school, and just be an all-rounded person. If you choose to do an exam, we are very happy about that and we celebrate you. For all the sessions, these are beautiful speakers and ladies. Some of them have taken us through the sessions, and this is what we have been doing for the past weeks. We've done introduction to AI, we've done prompt engineering, we've had a session on AI and security, and today we are having another session. So I'll hand it over to Madam Franca now.
Yes. Okay. Today we have as a host Lara Jujola and my humble self, Franca Ibuzo, as the co-host. And our speaker today is Olajumoke Toriola. Yes, popularly called MJ. Okay. Yeah. Olajumoke Toriola is the co-founder of Textilers. She's the Chief Technology Officer at Hashem Limited, a visionary leader driving innovation. Microsoft's Regional Director, Microsoft's Most Valued Professional, MVP, Microsoft Certified Trainer, MCT, Cybersecurity Advocate, Tech Speaker, Solutions Architect, and AI Advocates. Olajumoke Toriola is the Chief Technology Officer at Hashem Limited and has over 90 years of progressive experience in IT. She's a Microsoft MVP and a member of the Microsoft Regional Director Program. Olajumoke Toriola's influence extends beyond her professional roles. She's the founder of the Nigeria M365 community and a co-founder of Textilers. Furthermore, she hosts the monthly talk show C-Suite Corner with MJ, AI, data, and security from a business leader's perspective. Her global conference speaking engagements and passion for guiding individuals in pursuing tech careers are widely recognized. She's committed to giving back to the Microsoft tech communities in Nigeria, Africa, and globally. Please welcome with me, MJ for short, not Michael Jackson this time. This is, yes, as she will
You took the
always
word.
say.
You took the word
Please, with
from
a
my
round of
mouth.
applause, can we welcome
Oh my
MJ?
goodness.
Yes.
Thank you so
And
much.
emojis,
Thank you.
and emojis, please.
Yeah,
Emojis,
thank you
please.
so much.
Yes,
I'm
thank
really,
you.
really, really happy to be here. Um, Thank you, Lara. Thank you, Mother Fraka, for that wonderful introduction. So I'll just go ahead and share my screen. And welcome to you, all our beautiful audience. Thank you for always showing up. I mean, you guys rock. I mean, we can't thank you enough. So I want to encourage you more to come in every week, every weekend, just to learn. It's a great platform for you to learn and to gain one thing or the other. And I used to say something, never waste an opportunity to learn, even when you are, I mean, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, never waste an opportunity to learn. So thank you guys for joining this session. I'm going to quickly share my screen, and then before I go on, by way of, I know they've done a very fantastic introduction about me. Please, Lara, let me know if you can see my screen. Now, for some of us that do not have their camera on, I'll just do a little bit of, or probably maybe you cannot view my, you can't seem to see my video. I'm a lady with a pair of glasses, and then I have a low cut on me, and then I am brown skin, and I said I am, so Shia, please. Because why I'm saying that, because a lot of time my voice sounds very husky. So people think that, oh, it is a man that is talking, but I like to tell people ahead of time, I'm a very proud woman in tech. So just for the record's sake, thank you guys. All right. So let's start. Before I start, by way of asking really to be sure that everyone on this call is I want to know what's my audience. I just want to have a feel of what my audience. So I'm going to ask you, if this is your first time of learning or hearing anything about Copilot, please in the chat window put a one in the chat window. If this is not your first time, you sort of have the knowledge about Copilot, but I mean, you're just learning about it. It's not so grounded. Put a 2 in the chat window. And if you are an expert in Copilot or even in AI, put a 3 there, please. So I just want you guys to quickly interact with me. I want to know the mixture of my audience. If you're okay, great. I think I'm seeing the 2. So if you are new, don't feel shy, don't worry, don't feel shy, just put something there. We will start all over again. We will take it up from there. Lara, please, you know I talk a lot, so I want to ask ahead of time, how many hours do I have? How many minutes do I have? You're smiling.
Yes, we have an hour.
Okay, I hope I will be able to.
That
All
includes
right,
question and answers.
All right then, no problem.
Thank
Okay,
you.
great. All right, I believe you all can see my screen, and then so I'm going to be starting right now. I'm going to turn off my camera because I'm actually going to also let me see. I'm going to also save on internet, to be honest. But hold on, let's see. Just 1 minute. I want to reshare because no, I don't think I need to reshare. I just want to put the sound in case I need to play something. All right then. Okay. So for our agenda for today, we're going to, I know, yes, the first speaker has done something around AI, and then they've talked about AI, but I don't want to just jump into Copilot without giving like a bit of background on what is AI and all of that, and then the foundation technologies that makes AI really. And then we'll go now to what is Copilot, and then we'll now delve into really the topic of the day, which is what is Copilot from Microsoft 365. And now Copilot for Microsoft 365 works, then we will do demo. Now, the reason why I was asking that question to say that, I mean, to know the mixture of my audience is if you're actually new to artificial intelligence, which I'm going to be using AI going forward. And then if you're new to artificial intelligence, then we can know. Um, Please, can you let me mute that person, please? All right, thank you. All right, so the first thing is, what is AI? I mean, I know that they've talked about it, but I'll just quickly run through a little bit of it. Artificial intelligence is actually the ability for machines to perform tasks that normally would require human intelligence. And when we talk about human intelligence, we are talking about tasks that will require things such as what? Perception, reasoning, learning, decision making, and problem solving. So in a simpler term, artificial intelligence actually what describes the capability of machines to mimic human cognitive activities, really, and then to carry out that activities, or to carry out such activities that we usually will require human intelligence. And then when you talk about cognitive activities, you're actually referring to activities like seeing, like thinking, like learning, solving problem, understanding natural language, which is what I am saying right now, natural language. So imagine a robot that can really that can recognize your face or even play a game or chess. That's AI at work. That's just an example of AI. I'm trying to let me see. I'm trying to save on bandwidth, like I said. And so I'm going to turn off my camera, please. Just 1 minute. Yeah, great. Okay. So, and for a lot of us that do not know, artificial intelligence has been around seriously since 1956, and that is in the 50s. So it is not a new concept. But the only thing that it became very, 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 the buzz around the AI just became massive in the last few years. And this is because now there is an abundance, of data, that can be leveraged to train AI models. We call it AI models, or you can call it system that are used today, and then that makes the whole thing around AI. And then when you now look at ChatGPT coming on board, it just revolutionized the whole way everybody's working, everybody's thinking, everybody's doing things, and that is what AI is all about, really. So moving forward, when we talk about AI, one of the things you have to bear at the back of your mind is that the foundation of artificial intelligence lies in data. That is, data serves as the essential raw material for machine learning algorithms. So we talk about algorithms. These algorithms use what? Data to understand patterns, to make predictions, and enhance their own capability over time. So when you listen to Joy last week, like Joy talked about how you have been using AI, you don't know. Now today, if you are using Alexa, you're actually using AI. If you are using Siri, you are using AI. Some of us even go to banking, and then we go maybe, like, let's say every month or every week, I am such person that does this kind of transfer, and then the banking app has learned that I do my transfer, maybe it is 5k every time. At any time I come, you will see that it's giving me suggestion that do I want to just do 5k instead of me typing it all over again. So that is AI, at play. A lot of us do not know that we are using it, but because data is now the lifeblood of AI, that is what AI is running on. And we will see how all of this actually is helping the Copilot ecosystem at the end of the day. Now, the foundational technologies of AI, we just talk about it. AI actually, like I said, employs sophisticated algorithms, and then they create machines capable decision making, result at the end of the day. Now, when you talk about the foundational technologies of artificial intelligence, you are looking at things like what? Like machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing. And I'm going to talk about each of them just in a bit. Now, when you talk about machine learning, it's a method where you teach computer to learn from data. Remember what we said, data is what feeds AI. AI feeds on data. Let me use the right phrase. Instead of programming a computer with specific instructions, we all know that the way computer works today is that you have to give it a specific set of instruction for it to work. So you program the computer. But in the case of machine learning, all you need to do is that just give the computer a lot of information, and that information comes in form of data. And then what happens is that the computer will now learn how to figure out the patterns and make decision on its own. And I gave an example. Let's say you are teaching a child to say recognize animal. So you give a child the opportunity to say, oh, this is a cat, this is a dog. At the end of the day, you find out that that child at the end of the day will be able to say, oh, this is what a dog looks like. Exactly what you're doing around machine learning when it comes to AI. So you create software to learn independently by doing what? By assessing and utilizing the data that you have provided it. Then we move on to what? Neural network, which is another foundational technology in AI. Now, neural networks consist of interconnected nodes. So like neurons, like the brain, just think about it like neurons, the way it processes in the brain. What happens is that each layers help the computer to understand different aspects of data. So for example, you bring a data, and probably maybe the data you are bringing in is a facial a face, sorry. And then with neural networks, it helps to say, oh, this, to study probably maybe this is the face, the edges, maybe this is the shape, maybe it is the color, you know, the way I was saying to myself, this is brown skin and all of that. The kind of thing you present to AI, and then AI is looking at it, so you understand what a brown skin means, it understand what an oval shape means and all of that. That is what neural network does. So it is actually called what? Artificial neural network, or stimulated what? Neural networks, and they are a subset of machine learning. And then when you talk about things like deep learning algorithms, it's actually the backbone of it. So I just want to, like I said, lay some few foundations before we go on. Then we talk about deep learning. It's a subset also of machine learning that involves the use of that neural networks we just spoke about. And then it is actually very, very effective in learning large data sets. So you have it for things like voice control, image recognition, natural language processing, and more. That's where this plays in and all of that. So you see deep learning around that. Now, moving on, let's talk about the natural language, and I'll give, and you will in a bit you understand why I'm taking you through this part, because by the time we get to Copilot, you will see how Copilot ties into all of this. Now, when you talk about natural language, just from the word natural language, it means just language that you can understand, just like me and you are speaking. So natural language is the technology that allows computer to understand and interact with human language. And then what this involves is that it involves the use of what I can refer to as computational techniques to analyze and understand human language patterns, so to say. So this is where you have virtual assistant coming in like Siri or Alexa. I have a customer that is a seller, so I'm sorry. That's why I use the word seller. So you have that particular place where you can have Siri coming in, answering your questions or following your command. Why Siri or Alexa can do that is because it's what is following natural language process, and you can see it. So you actually teach the computer to understand grammar, context, and even emotion behind your words. And that's what the whole essence of natural language. Now, in natural language, you have the large language models. They are a specialized type of words of natural language processing technology. So what they do is that they are trained on vast amount of text data. And that data, at the end of the day, they can now generate what is referred to as human-like text-based input, or on inputs they receive, I mean. So you have a situation where you have like a large data set. Remember what we said before, AI feeds on data. So you have it, and yet now you now train it on large amount of text data. But by the time it's now coming out, it is coming out with possible answers to complex questions. To write essay, you can query it to write essay. This is what your chat GPT is using, and all of that. So this is that particular aspect that you should understand where copilotizing, which we're going to go into in a bit. Then you will also talk about others like computer vision, robotic is another type. But wait a minute, let's talk about generative AI. And when you talk about generative AI, which is sometimes called Gen AI, is a type of artificial intelligence that creates original content. So when people are saying generative AI, it is more like something that can generate a content on its own. And such contents can be a text, they can be images, they can be videos, they can be audios, or even software code. If you go to ChatGPT today and you say, give me a command for me to create 1,000 students in class and their bio, you will see what it's going to do. So that is what generative AI is, means that it responds to what a user prompt or request. So in other words, what you have done is that you have allowed the AI system, or like we use the word, the Gen AI, to simulate learning and decision making process like that of an human brain. So how it works is that it can identify pattern with the amount of data that you've given it, and it can generate new content with that data. So ChatGPT operates behind the generative AI. And then what it does, like we all know that ChatGPT is like a chatbot that uses AI and natural language processing to create a conversational responses that resemble those of human beings. And so that is why ChatGPT is what is classified under generative AI. So leaving that background for every one of you, I will now move to Copilot. I think that background is good enough for us to set the tone for what we're about to get into. Now, before I go on, I just want to quickly play a video just this small video for us to see what Copilot is all about. So please confirm to me if you can see my sound, if you can hear the sound.
Yeah.
All right, great. All right, so that's what Copilot is all about. So when we talk about Copilot, really, you will see that over the years, there's been a surge in the use of artificial intelligence, like I said. And this is actually leading to Microsoft also introducing a range of AI tools. And then those AI tools are collectively known as what? Copilots. So that's why I wanted to start with what is Copilot. Now, Copilot is commonly recognized as an AI chat assistant. That is the word you call it, an AI chat assistant. So it includes what specialized tools designed for integration with applications such as Microsoft Word, Teams, and Excel. Now, to take a trace back, Copilot on its own can exist. However, if you want it also to do what, to integrate with applications such as Microsoft Word, Teams, Excel, PowerPoint, and some other applications, it can also do that. And that is the topic of today. That's why we're saying Copilot for Microsoft 365. But before we go into Copilot for Microsoft 365, we're going to also delve into what is Copilot. So Microsoft Copilot, as it said, is what is an AI tool that leverages what? Large language model. And then how it works is that it gets data from Microsoft Graph. I don't know how many of you already knows about Microsoft Graph, but we will go into that in a bit. And then also with Microsoft Graph, and then with Microsoft 365 applications. So what it does is that with the AI tools and natural language interaction, users or anyone on your network, or even you, can do what? Can discover or query Copilot, and it gives you very, very comprehensive answer to your queries. And how it generates those contents is based on the applications that you have access to. It can also generate those responses from even the web. And so we're going to look at that, how it integrates with Microsoft 365 products in a bit. So when we talk about how my Copilot works, we know that Copilot uses what? That's why I laid the foundation for the machine learning. Copilot uses what? Machine learning and natural language processing to understand your work patterns and preferences. So it can actually do what? Make suggestion for you. It can make suggestion like, okay, for completing tasks, maybe for you. It can even suggest replies for your email and all of that. So it learns from your feedback. Maybe when you enter feedback, probably, oh, this is great or not, and then you answer it intelligently and or not, and then improve on that over time. That's the way Copilot works. Just see it as your AI virtual assistant. Now, with integration with Microsoft 365, like I said, it can integrate with Microsoft 365. That's why we call it Copilot for Microsoft 365. And then so you have things for Outlook, for Word, for applications like Outlook, Word, Excel, and then Copilot can do or provide intelligent suggestion and automate your workflows around this, really. So I've already said it. Microsoft 365 Copilot uses the power of AI to boost productivity. You can use it to unlock creativity and then help your user understand information but better with a simple chat. So, and it does all of these with what? Integrating with large language models, Microsoft Graph, and Microsoft 365 apps. Now, when you talk about large language model, which is what I've already talked about, these are advanced AI models that understand and generate human-like text, really. And then how do they work? They help Copilot to understand your queries and then provide relevant response. Now you talk about the graph. The way the graph work is that graph is what? A collection of APIs. And for all of you that are very new to what API stands for application programming interface. And then what Graph does is that you use a collection of those APIs to connect to your various Microsoft services and devices. When we talk about Microsoft services and devices, we talk about what probably maybe your email service, your chat services, your collaboration to your productivity to everything that falls under your M365. And you use that to access your data from your Microsoft 365 apps, even the devices you use. And like I said, emails, document, calendar, events, and all of that. That's what your Microsoft Graph will connect to. Now, when I talk about APIs, I like to always break it down for people so that they can understand. So think about API in a way that you went into a restaurant and you want to eat a food. Now, you in that restaurant, you are the client. A waiter will come always all the time to you to ask you what you want. Now, that waiter will go back into the kitchen to go and fetch what you want. So see, let's say that kitchen is like the server that holds all of the information you need. It's like a storage that holds all of the information. Now the waiter goes into that storage and then comes and do what? Give it to you. So that waiter is what you can refer to as what? As an API. So Microsoft Graph use a collection of, let's say, waiters in form of APIs to go into the storage where your data are, e.g. your emails, your documents, your chat, your Teams, your SharePoint, your OneDrive, and all of that, and pick those information. So by the time you sit on your system and you open Microsoft Copilot and you type in, oh, give me a recap of the meeting, it knows where to go to and fetch that information and present it to you. You know what you have done when you type give me a recap of the meeting, you're actually making use of what? The natural language processing. And the natural language processing is actually going is integrated into these large language models. So you sit here and you make your charts calling up on this, and then this goes into what? Query what? Your Microsoft Graph. And your Microsoft Graph is doing what? Going back into what? Into your Microsoft 365 to get all of the information that you are asking. And then it brings it back to you in a very simple text that you can understand. So Copilot use your data. That's what you have to be at the back of your mind. And then he uses your data and context to tailor his response. This means that if you do not provide accurate or relevant information based on your specific needs and activities, the possibility is that you might not be getting the right response. And good enough, I am happy that last 2 weeks we did on prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is all about how you query the Copilot and how you query it to give you result. Now, talking about how it works really, because some people told me they're intermediate. So the last few slides I've been talking to people that are on the stage 1. Now I'm coming to the stage 2 people, just to since they tell me that they know Copilot and they see how it works. So let's go over how it works. Now you see Copilot, this is your application here, your Microsoft 365 app. So you as a user sit somewhere in your Copilot and you query Copilot. This is why we said it's a user prompt. You prompt Copilot for something. When Copilot receives an input prompt from a user in an app such as Word or PowerPoint, which we will show, what Copilot will do is that it takes that prompt and goes into Microsoft Graph, which is what I have spoken about now. So what Copilot does is that it goes through a process that is called what? Grounding. Now what grounding means is that it is a process that makes the prompt more specific to help you generate the relevant and actionable answer for the task that you have asked Copilot for. That's just what grounding means. It wants to be more what? Specific. So it goes into your what? with what, with Microsoft. But remember what we talk about Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Graph is like what, the agents or the waiters that connects into your what, into your emails, your files, your meeting chats and all of that. Now what that does is that at the end of the day, once Graph is able to get that, it sends that report back to what, to Copilot. Now Copilot receives that responses from the large language words model like we talked about, and then process it. It also goes through, it makes an additional call to Graph if need be, if it wants to verify more, it makes that. It also do checks like what, like AI checks to see things around security, compliance, privacy, whether it is meeting, all of that happens around here. Now at 4, what Copilot does is that it returns the app for what, to it still goes, so 4, it still goes to the language model, and then at 5 it goes back to check it again to say it assess the graph for semantic index. What semantic index means is that instead of searching just blindly, it wants to be more specific, and that's why we say specificity is what is all about. So it does what, it wants to be more specific, and once it receives that, it now gives you the prompt, it gives you a response to your prompt at the end of the day. So that is just the simple way the Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365 works. Now with that being said, I'll be coming later to Microsoft subscriptions and plans, but now what we need to do is what, I want to go into demo, so into the demo part. So because we want to use 30 minutes for demo, so I'm going to be bringing up my Word document. And then before I go into my Word document, let's talk about how what Copilot is, the way it works. So when you talk about Copilot, let's see if I can stop sharing, and then let me get the my edge. So there are several ways you can actually what, access Copilot. And I'm using the word Copilot, not Copilot for Microsoft 365. Like I said, there are different, Microsoft did what, brought out a lot of AI system also, and all of them are tagged under what, Copilot. There are different types of Copilot. Our focus today is Copilot for Microsoft 365. But before I even go to Copilot for Microsoft 365, can we even delve into the normal Copilot? So if you open your Edge browser, you will see this is this is Copilot. You get, this is Copilot for this is Copilot. This is what your Copilot looks like. Now before that, it used to be called M365 Chat or business chat and all of that, so you can see Copilot in that way, but later on it is now renamed to Copilot and all of that. So you see, so you have Copilot, you can actually access Copilot with your web account, I mean from the web or with work. Right now I'm in my work account, so that's why I have this. But if I were to bring up another Edge browser, and that Edge browser is, this is my Edge browser, this is another Edge browser, and that Edge browser, this is my personal account. I can still see what, Copilot's there, and then with that Copilot I can chat and do whatever I want to do. Another way I can access Copilot, that's one of the reasons I said the internet is quite very slow. Another way I can access Copilot is on my desktop. It means that you can see that with the Copilot that is on my personal account, I do not have the option for work. That's the difference. So if I click on chat, I can compose, I can chat, I can just say Copilot, give me, let me see, I say give me the different types of AI models. Okay, so it's even helping me. So if I do this is what it's going to give me, and it's just going to say what you can see. It's saying that using the web, that's the difference. And I'm going to take the same chart and still go again to what, to my work account, and you will see the difference. So a lot of us today that do not have the Copilot or the business one, you will be using just the Copilot that can just do what chat, or you can compose with it and all of that. So you can see that all it queries what is the web. If I take the same query, if I take the same query, let me edit. If I take the same query and I take it to the one that is my work account, if I take it to the one that is my work account, you can see that my work account is different now because I have Copilot for Microsoft 365, and that is why. And even also, if you have a M365 Entra account, that is, if you have a Microsoft Entra ID, even though you do not have Copilot for Microsoft 365, but you have an M365 account, you can actually use what? You can also use this same Copilot. The only thing is that it is limited to web to search for you. It will not look into things like your word and all of that. So let's see what will happen if I paste this same prompt that I use. Now you will see that the prompt, what is going to give me, will be quite different. You can see that what it is, where is highlighted, the highlighted that is checking through what my work. And if there is anything it finds, maybe there are any documents in my Word it found, is going to bring it out and all of that. And then it can even make references to where it found it, and then bring it up. So this is the difference between the work and the web. I mean, when you're using Copilot, the Copilots, the business, for business, you're using just the Copilot, the ordinary one. Now, with that being said, I've showed you how you can access Copilot. Another way you can access Copilot, if I used to go to copilot.microsoft.com, and there you can actually learn what things around the prompts. You can actually learn also how to use Copilot and all of that. So, but that is not the focus. You can see that this is my Copilot for work, and you can see the difference. This is my work account, and that's why I have work and all of that there. If I go to that same Copilot, just want us to get the difference. If I go to that same Copilot for on my personal account, you see what I'm going to have. I think I answered with copilot.microsoft.com. So is using my work account. No, I don't want it to use my work account. I still want, because it's using my work account. Let me see, switch to personal account. So I want us to see the difference of what it brings out when you are using Word, and then you're using your work account, and then you're using your personal account. Yep. Hey. So you see that do you see the difference? So, and then one of the things you see that you have Copilot and you have Notebook here. So I can ask Copilot anything here. So let's say I want to say, give me a detailed step-by-step on how to make a cake. And you'll see what is going to give me, and that's with what is going to generate is going to respond to me. It will respond, and it will only query it from the web. It's going to give me the instruction on what to do, and that is why a lot of people today feel that when you use Copilot, a lot of the things you can learn, you can do, and you can see it's even giving you a YouTube side for you to be able to see what you are going to do with that. And then you can always see the list of your chats by the side here. If this is not enough, I can decide to say, oh, I like it, or I can say that, okay, how do you preserve? How I can, it's natural language. You can chat with Copilot like you are talking to someone. So I can say, oh, great one. Oh, sorry, let me say nice one. How do I preserve? How do uh, how do I preserve a cake for a year? You get, and then it gives me also that information, and then it's going to respond to how I'm going to preserve it for a year and all of that. So you can continue with all of the conversation. Another thing you can do is this: you can actually use the microphone and all of that. So I can use this microphone. I don't want to dwell so much on this because this is Copilot. I'm not talking yet on Copilot for Microsoft 365. So it says that it tells me how I can use it. So if I want to use the microphone, I can use the microphone and say that, and then I can allow. Once I allow my microphone, I can tell the Copilot holding it that I want to train, I want to teach some students on how to bake cake. You see that I'm talking and it's typing it. You get. So let's start all over again. I'm going to talk and then it's going to type. So what I want to tell Copilot right now is that I want to train some students on how to bake cake, but they only understand in Spanish. I do not know any Spanish language, but I want to tell Copilot that I want to train people on how to bake cake in Spanish. So, and I'm going to be speaking my natural language, English, that I know. Let's see what Copilot is going to do. So I'm going to press my, okay, so Copilot, you're going to help me. I want to train students on how to bake cake, and the student only understands Spanish language. So you are going to help me to translate while I speak in English to them. So let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to see. Oh,
it seems like your message got cut off.
Okay, so let's rephrase. So let me do it all over again. Copilot.
It looks like your message might have some typos or autocorrect errors.
Okay, let's see. Let me type it first. Let me teach students in Spanish how to bake cake. Let's see. Okay. So you can see that it's generating. I actually wanted to say it. I don't want to type it. You can see that it's generating all of the contents that I'm going to be doing, also the same content, and it's generating it in another language for the students and all of that. So that's another good point for you. And then when you're using Copilot, another thing is that with Copilot you have what you can actually add image. Maybe if you had an image, you can upload an image from your device and say, oh, maybe Copilot should do what, recognize that image and all of that. You can that's one of the things. You can take a photo and then upload it and then put it for Copilot. Now there are plugins you can actually use. There are plugins that have been made available that, apart from probably maybe what you do with maybe just querying the web, they can actually use this plugin to do your query. Sorry. Now, one of the plugins I use that I've been familiar with is Suno. This Suno, it can make, if I add Suno as a plugin, I can decide to say make this training for the students in what, with a song. We'll come into that, but that's not the focus. So let me leave Copilot. I think with that, I'll just be able to lay background for you, or now you can use Copilot. So now let's go to Copilot for Microsoft 365, which is really what is the focus of the talk today. Now, when we talk about Copilot for Microsoft 365, what we said earlier is that it is how Copilot helps you to do what? You send the prompt and then it helps you to do what? To generate responses from your Word, from your Excel, from your PowerPoint. So what I'll be doing today is just taking you through some of those. Now, let's see if I have my Word document here. Okay, so I have a Word document here, which I'm going to share. Now, for any Word document you open, this is the icon for Word. This is, you find Copilot here. Now, with this Copilot, you can open Copilot in Word. You can open Copilot in the zone chat window. Probably maybe you have a document. I have a document already. I can use Copilot to summarize that document. But what I want us to do today is that we can also give what? Copilot a prompt. So you have this icon of Copilot here, and I can draft with it. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say, prepare a detailed proposal for my company ABC Limited, expanding to South Africa. Prepare a detailed proposal for my company ABC Limited, expanding. So what are we expanding? Let me be more specific. Expanding our AI powered tools to what? To South Africa. So if you are someone here that knows, like a business development manager or a salesperson, I want to paint a scenario. I've gone to meet my boss and I said, I'm so excited with this idea. I want us to move to South Africa, and then I think it is time for us to move to South Africa and then just expand our business and all of that. And my boss seems to be interested or seems to like what I'm saying. And then she said to me, okay, go get a proposal for it. And if you are like me, IT people or even sales people, what we don't like to do is when to write proposal, it becomes like something that everybody wants to run away from and all of that. But with Copilot for Microsoft 365 and with the use of Copilot in Word, I can actually do what? Just generate a proposal, and that proposal I can also do what? Reference a file if I have any. So I'm going to generate a proposal. I'm going to say generate, and we're going to see the draft, and you will see what it is doing. It gives me a summary. It gives me a market analysis of even what they call it, a market analysis of South Africa. What is the business going to be like in their market? Is there a market for it and all of that? It gives me like the strategic plan. Where is going to be my target sectors? If I feel that if I feel this is not enough, I can decide to do what? Keep it, or then do what? Regenerate. So I can decide to say, oh, make it more lengthy. Make it more lengthy. And then I'll say, including timelines and budget. Do you get? Now, I'm giving Copilot more information to work with. Do you see? It includes what? Things like budget and all of that is not there. So I'm going to pass this to it, and then let's see what it's going to do. Again, so it's going to bring more information for me, and then with that information I can do what? I can take it. Yes, it gives me the implementation timeline. It gives me like a budget. You get a budget estimate. It gives me the expected outcome. If I'm happy with this, let's say I'm happy with this, I'll just do what? I'll just keep it. And once I keep it, I can come in later on to, let's say that this budget estimate, I also want a breakdown of, maybe I want a breakdown of it. I can come in here with my Copilot. Let's so I'm looking for my Copilot icon, because the Copilot icon can actually follow me wherever I go. So I can come in here, let's say, let me say add more details around the budget estimate. Okay, so it's telling me, for example, are you looking for details on specific cost categories? Yes. So I said I want details on project. Let me use the prompt it's giving me. I need details on projected expenses, maybe. Now it's giving me all of that. So estimated cost is this and all of that. So, but what I actually wanted is that I wanted a place where I place my cursor on, and then I can say, yes, this is what I want. So I wish that it's not this place I want. So I want break down the budget estimate. Let me see, budget estimate order. Because that's what I want. So I want that budget estimate. Yes, you see what I want? I just want it to give me like what it did for the budget. You know, just get me market research. So I want this budget estimate to do what? To be broken down to say what each of them. Now, do I want to keep it? I can say put it in the tabular, put it in the table. So you can see, and this is me still doing all my work without doing what? Without going to the internet. All the information I need is already generated for me. That's the power of AI. That's the power of how you use what? Copilot in Word. Now I can keep this. I can keep this. Now, if I keep this, I am very, very okay with it. If there's anything I want to use, if there's anything I want to do with it, I can decide to just move this. I actually wanted that stuff to come up under this. I was looking for that icon. I don't know the reason why I'm not seeing it. I actually wanted it to, yes, I wanted the icon. That's the icon I wanted. I wanted it to come under this place instead, so that instead of me. So all these are all the informations I need, and I'm okay. Do you get? I have my budget estimate, I have everything I need and all of that. I can format the system, I can even ask Copilot to format it for me. But let's say because of time, because I'm looking at time already, I close this and I save it. So one of the things that Copilot works, if you want to work with it, is that you have to save it in Words. You have to save it in your OneDrive. So let's say I want to use this same document and I've given it to my boss, and my boss feels very good about it, to say AI powered systems in what? In AI powered system in SA. So let's say my boss is quite very okay with it, and she said, oh, this is a very good one. But we're going to meet the executive. And in meeting the executive, what the executive will be interested in is that they want the dog, they will not go through this proposal. Rather, I should do what? I should make it in a presentation format. Now, I do not need to, the way we spend hours with presentation, no more with Copilot. All I need to do is that with this same document, I just need to copy the link. Once I copy the link, is already shared. I just need to do what? Now go into my PowerPoint slide. Open a blank PowerPoint. Let's see. It's my PowerPoint. So I'm going to open a new PowerPoint, and with the PowerPoint, you can see the Copilot's icon here. If you do not have the Copilot for Microsoft 365, you won't have it. Like I said, the Copilot for Microsoft 365 is targeting what? Your Microsoft 365 apps. If you just go to the normal Copilot that I demoed before is what you can actually see, and you can have on Windows, you can have on Edge. So with Copilot for PowerPoint, you can see it gives me the opportunity for me to what? Create a presentation about. So probably maybe I want to just write it. I can say create the presentation and then they give it the prompt, or create a presentation from a file, or ask Copilot for anything. I can also see it at this place and then do the same thing with it. But what I want to do right now is what? Create what? A presentation what from the file. I have a file I want to use already. I can decide to say, okay, use this file. And you can see the only reason I copied it is that because I've shared it, I can see that's around here. Do you get? So I'm going to do this. Create a presentation from what? From the file. And then with that file, let's see what it's going to do. That's just what the demo, that video I showed you, it was doing. Let's see what it's going to do. It's going to take that document. It's going to create my presentation slide from it. It's going to bring all of those. And then with that, it's going to do what? It's going to make beautiful slides out of it. And let's see what's going to happen just in a few minutes with that. So with another thing I can do with Copilot in PowerPoint is what? Is for me to, apart from using it in PowerPoint, giving it a Word document or giving it a file for you to reference, I can actually create a presentation what? From start, just telling Copilot what it is all going to be about, and we're going to do that in a minute. So let's look at this. Now I have this. You can see it gave me an agenda. It gave me overview of the proposal. Tell me if I take this to my executives, wouldn't they think that where is this lady from, and then in how many minutes I've already concluded everything. So what you now need to do is that with this slide that has been given, I can make use of what my designer to format it better, make it into a beautiful, you get? So I can change this and say what? Make it into beautiful, and then use all of the beautiful thing about Copilot that it respects your company's policy around what and on how you use sensitivity label. Now, if I want to change this sensitivity label to say, oh, this label is not, the sensitivity label of this document is not general, which means I want everybody to be able to access it, but I want to change it to what? To something like confidential. I can actually do it here also. This is the most beautiful part of it. I can see the agenda it gives me, so you can see the formatting with the designer. I can decide to say, oh, this is the way I want it. That's just the only thing you would be doing. And then you can see, decide to do this. Now I can come back to Copilot and say, Copilot, add another slide for maybe in slide C. Let me see. Let's see. I want to say, okay, let's say in target sectors. So let me say add an image. Let's see. Add an image to the content. Let's see. In slide 8. Okay, so you can see it added an image. Now, Omalara, am I due because I can hear some sound? I don't know whether you're trying to call my attention. Okay, no problem.
No, we're good.
So you can. Okay, we're good. So you can see it's added an image. I may not be comfortable with this image. I said make it make the image. Make the image that of a finance or of a financial, make the image that of a financial, let's say icon or whatever. Let's see. Let me see if it will work. So sometimes, you just want to. Okay, so he said you can't do that. I can only answer general purpose question just to see. So what you can do is this image, whether I'm okay with it or not, I mean, you can make it, you can format it for that. Now, another thing is that I can introduce another slide. I can introduce a slide. Let's see that all of the things you have spoken, this is competitive advantage. I come to market research. I want to see where I can introduce a slide. This is the budget. Let's see. Okay, so I can say introduce a slide, introduce another slide, titled pros and cons of opening an AI, of expanding. Okay, let me say of expanding to essay. Let me put it after slide 17. Let's see. So I can. Oh, I didn't put my words very well, but he got it. If you look at what I did, I said introduce another. I did not say slide, but I think it got me. And that's one of the things is I said pros and cons of expanding to essay. And you can see that. So I can actually decide to say, oh, maybe this slide does not, and I move it all about. So this is what it looks for you to do what? To use Copilot for PowerPoint with an existing document. So let me open another one and say that I want to create a presentation about. So create a presentation on how to make a cake, a delicious cake. Let me say make a delicious cake for a wedding. Okay, let's see. Let me even leave it that I make that type of error. Let's see what Copilot is going to bring about it. Because also he's intelligent, he should know what I want to do. So you can see that that cake that I talked about, assembly and frosting and all of that, he has already. So I can now do what say generate slide. Let's see what it's going to be like. You can see, so with Copilot in PowerPoint, these are all the things you can do. It's you can create a presentation from what? From a file, and you can do what? You can also do what? You can create your presentation afresh, just giving Copilot a prompt. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen. It is still applying the design, and then this is it. You get it. So I think I must have pressed slide. So this is what it looks like. And then tell me how I take this to a proposal to my customer and said, okay, let me show you. I mean, I want to do a presentation for you on delicious cake that we make in MJ cookies. And then I'm going to let me just do a presentation of our cake to you and all of that. And you see, or even you as a student, you have a presentation, probably maybe you're doing your course and all of that, and you have a presentation. Copilot can actually help you to do your to draft your presentation. And then if the design is not okay for me, if I feel this design is not okay, I can actually still make use of designer, and then it can give me. Imagine you as a lecturer teaching a student or teaching someone how to make a wedding cake, and then you have this all just drafted out for you. How beautiful it is. Now, one of the two things I cannot be able to do is that I will not be able to show you Copilot on Outlook or for my Microsoft Teams, because the truth about it is that the only way I can showcase this Copilot is using what my company's account, and then I wouldn't want to show you, but I can give you an idea of what it can do for you.
Are you gonna sign any contracts with Pay My People or?
Yeah.
Marapis, can you hear me mute? Okay, so the other thing you can do is what is for the other thing I can do rather is to ensure that with the Copilot, I can do what? I can summarize my emails. I can tell Copilot to summarize my emails. I can tell Copilot to do what? To recap my meetings from Teams. I can tell Copilot to draft a response to someone from an email. Those are the things I can do with what? With Copilot. Now, but let's look at the last one really. Let's look at an Excel, how we can use Copilot in Excel. Now, one of the things is that I have this Excel sheet. Now, with this Excel sheet, if this Excel sheet is not saved in table, Copilot will be grayed out. That's one of the things. So I have the Copilot icon here. And with the Copilot icon here, I can actually decide to say some of the things I can do with Copilot. Now, if you look at the prompts, you can create formulas. If you click on it, you can see all of the formulas, the things, the suggestion, the prompts you can make use of. If you view more prompts, you can see what you can do around ask and all of that. You can ask Copilot to, how do I sum values based on and all of that. So for one of the things I always tell people is that if you click on your Copilot, these are prompts from Microsoft Lab also, yes, that you can use and all of that. So, but let me close this. If you have an Excel sheet like this, which is like a data like this, I got this Excel sheet from someone, from a system online. But what Copilot can do for you in Excel is this. Let's assume that you come into Excel and then you have this table. One of the first things you want to do is to be sure that even as you select this table and all of that, let's say you select this table, you want to be sure that, this sheet, you want to be sure that the table, your data is what? Is converted to table. If it is not, you will see Copilot. But one of the things I always like to do is that just to be on the safe side, you can come to insert and then you can see the table icon if it is not. So I have this. Now, once this is not a table, Copilot will not do what? Will be grayed out. Now, what are the things I can do with this table? I have a couple of things I want to do. I can come to formulas and allow Copilot to give me suggestion for formulas. So I can say I can say generate a formula suggestion. Let's see what it's going to do. Now it's going to generate a formula suggestion for me, and then you will see what it wants to do. So it tells me here that words. Let's see what it has come up with. He said it can calculate the average Q1 revenue and Q revenue for projects of the same type by doing doing the average of Q1 revenue for all the projects. And then he did it and he showed me that this is what it's going to look at. So I'm going to say just insert that column, and let's see, and then you can see even when I mouse around it, it's already showing me that it's going to insert it here. So I give it this. So what it has done is this. It has inserted the average of Q1 revenue by the project type. Another thing I can do is this. I can decide to say, maybe I come back to my prompts and I say maybe ask and then give me, let me see. With this one, I can say, show me what data insight. That's what it's going to come up with. I can decide you can analyze the old document and do show me an insight in it. Now, and you can see that insight is there. Now, I can decide to say, it gives me this insight that profit by project type. Those are just prompts I can use, and then it tells me that I can add it to into a new sheet, and I said yes, go ahead and add it to a new sheet. So it's going to come in here and put it here. So you can see the way that I'm working with Copilot, and then it's helping me without me writing any command, without me doing anything, or without me even writing any instruction for Excel. One of the applications that I know I am not so very good in is what is Excel. So I mean, I just feel that the Excel thing is for the data analytics people. So for someone like me, I find this very easy for me, because imagine me taking this to my manager or to my manager, and then showing them the different types of what Copilot is already doing here. I think that saves a lot of time for me before I can say I want to generate it. Now, one of the things I want us to go back to is this. I mean, I'm just going to query Copilot on is I have some few prompts that I got that I said I was going to use. So I'm going to say what, add a column to calculate the total revenue in Q1 and Q2. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to type this, add a column to calculate the total revenue for Q1 and then for Q2. So let's see what's going to happen. So, and then you can see the total revenue, which means that if I click on it, it's going to insert another column for me, which is what it has done. Now, another thing I'll do is that I want you to add a word, calculate the profit margin. So I have what, revenue, and I have what, profit. So I have profit and I have revenue. So I want it to what, calculate. Let's see what is going to come up with that. Okay, so I can also do what, insert my profit margin and all of that. And I'm going to now do my data analysis again. The last thing I'm going to do is just to add a column to calculate the products in days. Let's see. So it calculates what, the products in days. And then I'm going to do what, input this. So I'm going to now say what, show me the data analysis all over again. And let's see how it will be different from that I had earlier on. So I'm going to say add to a sheet, and then let's see. Yes, so it's still the same thing. All right, so yeah, yes, it will be the same thing. Profit by project type, that's what we did. So let's go back to our data. So if I has, because for me, I don't know, can I see another insight? So it's telling me that this is what he analyzed again. I can decide to say, okay, add to let's say, ask the question, let's say add to, let me see if I can say add to sheet 2 if you can instead. Exactly what I expected. So what you can do is this, because you have this, I can decide to copy this and place in what, in sheet 3. So basically for Word, for PowerPoint and Excel, that is what Copilot in M365 can do for you. Copilot for M365. I would have shown you the one for Teams. Unfortunately, I'm using the Techstylers account. So, and the account that has the Copilot for Microsoft 365 is my own companies or my own organization account, so I can't use it there. The same thing with my Word. For emails, I'm sorry, I will not be able to show, because the emails are quite very, I won't be able to say summarize email and all of that because of the sensitivity. So with that, I would just say that brings me to the end of the demo. But what I will just do right now is for us to run through what's the subscription for Copilot. So what are the subscription for Copilot? Oh, I think I may need to, my slide is changing, but it's not changing yet. Okay, let's see. Oh, sure. Okay, so I'm just going to reshare, or I'm just going to stop sharing and reshare so that I can stop. Okay, so I'll just run through the last part of the I'll run through the last part of my presentation, which is what have we been able to gain with Copilot. So, and I've taken more than the time that Omolara has said. Apologies for that. So, with Copilot for M365, what are the three things it allows you to do really? Unleash creativity, which means you can create content faster and more efficiently. Also, unlock productivity, enables you to focus on what matters most, and then up level skills, make you better at what you're good at and help you quickly master what you have not yet learned. So all of that. So let's talk about the different subscriptions we have um, with Copilot. So you have the Copilot subscription, like what I said earlier. You have for individuals and you have for organizations. So when you're talking about for organization, Copilot for Microsoft 365 is what you have for organization, which is what I just showed you now. And that is why I can demo Copilot in what? In Word, in Excel, I can demo Copilot in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. That is because I have Copilot. But if it is for individual, what I've just shown you before is that what I have, what the one I showed you on the web, that you can use Copilot for what? This is just going to access data from the web and all of that. You can also buy the Copilot Pro, but this is for personal use. Do you get? So it's not going, it's only just for personal use. The only time you buy, when you buy the one for M365, is that it's going to also what? Give you the opportunity to check data across your organization. But for personal use, so if you're someone that is using, somebody will ask me, somebody have asked me, does it mean if I am a one-man business or I have a personal computer, I'm doing my thing, that I cannot buy Copilots? Yes, you can buy, but you can just buy the Copilot Pro, and that one you can use it with Word. If you need the one for Teams, you have to buy it separately. You know, Teams right now is removed from the M365, so you have to buy the one for Teams. But if you are within an organization and you buy Copilot for M365, you have it all. You can access all of these applications for you. Now, which is just taking me to the last part of my listing of the slide. When you talk about business user, Copilot with Entra ID can also use it. You know, like I said, Big Chat Enterprise, what was formerly Big Chat or Business Chat and all of that, you can use Copilot free with it. Even though you have like an Office 365 account, but your company did not buy Copilot for Microsoft 365. So you will see someone that has like an M365 account already, but your company did not buy Copilot for Microsoft 365. So you can actually log in with your Microsoft 365 account. It can, but the only thing is that it will not be able to search for what? For applications in your organization. You will not be able to search for it. You will just find out that you are signed in as what? As your work account. Then you have for individual, which is some of the things that I showed you that you can use with your personal account. Then you also have for Copilot Pro, which I spoke earlier about, which means that you can use it as an individual. But as an individual, you know, just like you buy Office 365 home use and all of that, you can also buy what? The Copilot Pro to use it. Then you have the Copilot for Microsoft 365, which is really what we dealt with today. So that brings me to the end of the presentation. I'm willing to take answers. There are many questions now. Thank you guys for listening. I hope this session has been quite very informative and helpful. As for some of us that are just new to Copilot, you have been able to gain one thing or the other. All right, so over to you. Yes. Okay. So I will stop sharing and then I can take questions now. All right. Lara, over to you.
Wow. Thank you, MJ. Oh my. I mean, it was just very interesting for me to see how everything comes together using the Microsoft Office suits. I have a question though. I didn't quite understand if I'm buying Copilot, is it different from when I buy my Microsoft subscription? I was seeing a little caption underneath saying talking about for family use and for personal use. Do I have to buy it like a package separately and then install?
So the thing is like an add-on. Is so you still need the base license of your Office 365. So you still buy your Office 365 too. Copilot is just like an add-on on it if you want to use it. So that's the way it works. If I say Copilot standing there, however, you can still use Copilot on its own, but that Copilot on its own is one I showed you, that is copilot.microsoft.com. The one you have on your Windows, if you know, let me see if I can share my Windows now. I can share my screen. Now, if you look at my screen, okay, let's see, and slide. So if you look at the task bar here, this is Copilot here. So this one comes with Windows. Now you can use this. If I click on it, it's going to come out the same way like this. This is what it's going to bring out. You can see that it comes out like this. It queries what? My personal account. You see the difference? This is my personal account. You can still use it. Now, any information you are asking here is going to the web. The same thing with your Edge also. If I bring up my my personal, now because I signed, if I bring out my Edge, I have Copilot. Yeah, I can chat with it. It is still personal. You can still work with it. However, if you now feel that you want Copilot to use to search within your applications, to give you content, and even you want to use it with Word, with Excel, then you have to buy the business. That's when you have to buy Copilot. Now you can buy the Copilot for business, that is for a business user, which is Copilot for M365, or you can buy it as an individual also. But as an individual, you will first have what? Copilot, you first have the base license for your Office application. So you're only just buying Copilot as an add-on on it. So you can buy the Copilot Pro. That's the difference. As an individual or a family, you can buy the Pro. But that means you're going to buy license for each person. But for as an organization, you will buy what? Copilot for Microsoft 365, because you want it to query more your applications. You want to use it more within your Word document for you to be able to make presentation just like I did, proposal, much more. The truth about it is that just because of time, I did not go through a lot of what you can do with Copilot, even in Word, in Excel, and PowerPoint. All right, I hope that helps.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right then. Okay, so yes, I think I have a question from Osazi. Yeah, Susan. Lara, please go ahead.
Good morning.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, I
we can hear you.
Okay, so thank you for that presentation. But I'm kind of wondering if the way you just used Copilot to create a slide, obviously those were just AI generated. Is there a way you can personalize it to do what you want, rather than just bringing up ideas on its own? Because I will assume if I type the same query that you did, it's still going to give me the same answer just the way it has given to you. I'm wondering, is there a way you can make this personal to answer for what you want instead of just giving you a general idea?
Okay, all right, that's a great one. So one of the things is this. That's why it is a prompt you're giving to Copilot. If you have like a documentation really that you have, that's why you can reference. I don't know whether you joined when I say you have like a documentation you feel that you want to, and you have a content. Now I generated that proposal with Copilot. You can have a documentation of your own already that has the content you want, and you can put that content to say generate the proposal from, I'm coming, let me see. So you can put that, let's say I come here again, and then this is my blank document. I can create a presentation from a file, which means you have your own content already. Do you get, Osaze? You have your content, which means your content is in a Word document. All you need to say is that create the presentation from your document, and then it will take the words of that document, what you have, and then be able to do what, create it. So if I create from a file. Now the only thing is that you have all of those files. Let me stop this. So you have all of those files because they are quite very some sensitive document. I don't want any topics. I don't want them to see there. So you create a presentation from a file, just like the example I'm giving. What you have is that you already have those information you have in that file, which is what you want. And you can tell what Copilot, use this information to create my slide. Now the good thing about it, so let me come back. The good thing about it is that if you have, let's see whether the one for the very first one that I did for okay. Now the thing about it is this. Remember that I generated this document. Now you will see your notes. When you bring the notes out, you will see the notes, and Copilot will be telling you where he picked the words from. This is a document of mine. This is my own document. It tells me that this is the location, and then it can give you, this is the original. I want you to show me. So it shows you the original content, and then it says, well, this is the one it brings out. That's what Copilot will tell you. It will give you that this is the original content too, but this is the note he brought out. So you can decide to say, oh, this original content is what I want in my slide instead. Do you get? It helps you to, when you present, one of the things that PowerPoint is all about is that when you're doing PowerPoint is more of, your slide shouldn't be so much, it shouldn't be full of stories. Your slide is just supposed to be informational, and then your story is in the notes where you will dwell on. However, if you feel that, oh, the content he gave you is not enough, you will still have the original content and you can replace it therewith. So can you bring your own content? Yes, of course you can bring it, but the most important thing is that have it in a Word document, and that Word document is shared, stays in an environment like OneDrive or SharePoint. If the Word document is not shared, you won't be able to access it. I mean, the PowerPoint will not be able, Copilot will not be able to access it through PowerPoint. So that's one of the things you need to bear at the back of your mind. And if you feel the content it gives you is putting in the slide is not what, you can refer back to the note with the original content, and then you can make use of that. I hope that helps.
Yes. Okay. So another way I'm looking at this is, I know you did say you can use it for maybe like a school project. Assuming you have a project from your school and is a classroom of maybe 10 people, and you have the same project topic, and you query AI to give you a breakdown or an analysis, it's obviously going to give another person, if they put that same query to the same AI platform. I'm just thinking, if
So-
you tweak if you tweak the question, maybe you change the question a little bit, will it still, achieve the same goal as to answering the question to generate the project for you without, anyone spotting that you've probably used AI for that project? Because I see a lot of students complain about it.
Okay, that's a very good one. Thank you for that question. So one of the things I want to first say is this. Remember, I don't know whether you've joined the class when I talk about the way generative AI works. And then
Yes.
chat GPT, as you know. Now, what it does is that whatever information you give is able to help you to generate what new content. Now you use that. If I use a phrase or a prompt and I use it and then it gives me a content. Now the content is going to give me might be slightly different from what it gave you. Because the whole idea is that, remember that even when it gives a content and I said regenerate, it gives me in another format, because what it's doing is that it's searching the web. For a student, because I also right now I'm a student, and I will tell you what I always advise people to do, which is what you do when you generate an AI content. Always be what the school will tell you to do. I don't know, maybe Nigerian school does not allow it. Is that you must be able to say so you must be able to leave a comment to say this is an AI generated content. Now, one of the things you can do, and which is very beautiful with Copilot, is this. If I generate an AI content and it generates for me an AI content, I can come. Let me see if I can share my screen again. What's this? I want to see if I can share the screen back for the Word document, and I do that a lot because the possibility of your question really happens. I come here. If I generate a content and then we generate the same content, I have this option to say, do you see it for this Copilot? I can do what auto rewrite, and it redrafts the same thing for me in another word. So sometimes when you get, even when if I get a content from ChatGPT, and I would not shy away from it to say I do not get content from ChatGPT, I do. I bring it in and I say, okay, rewrite with Copilot for me. So it redrafts it. This is the same content, but says that, but you see, it says it and it gives me like 3 options of what I can take. So whichever one I want is, I can either insert below or replace it with it. So sometimes when you generate content online, it's always important for you, because of plagiarism and all of that, you want to say, oh, you want to put content, and I mean you want to put what they call it, a note on it to say this is an AI generated content. It will generate it, but I want it to be different from the way it is in your own. I can do what? I can rewrite. There is nothing in AI that it generates for me. I'm just giving an example that if I want, because I take my time, yes, it has done the most of the work for it to say it generates this content for me. But what I do most of the time is to rewrite it. I have Grammarly I can use to rewrite my content. I have also Copilot that I can use to rewrite or redraft that document. And again, one of the things you can also ask Copilot is to say generate reference for maybe use any reference, whether it's use reference in the, so you have like a reference that you can actually insert into your document as a student. Once you cite your document very well, I think that is what a lot of what they call it, institutions are looking for. If you can do your citation quite very well. To use AI for assignments for some schools is not out of place. What is very important is that because for you to even come up with that prompt, there is a level of effort or idea that you've put for you to say this is what you want. It means it's still part of your research. However, you are not just looking at those words or taking it. So if there are words there that I do not feel comfortable with, I will rewrite it or just rewrite it in my own words and then put it and then correct it. So is it possible for you to generate the same content as, I would say, slightly different, maybe depending on how you tweak your prompts? If you tweak your prompts in a way, I can generate a different, and we might be saying the same thing. And then going forward, what is very important is that you cite any document. If it is for institutional purpose, for educational purpose, you cite any document that is AI generated. I hope that helps us, Sazi.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right then. Okay. I think for me, I'm done, and I'm sorry I took 2 hours of your time. So sorry. Lara, over to you. Or else I'll continue to talk.
Okay. Let's give opportunity to one question more. There's no question in the chat. I think we're all following through with the learning.
If you don't mind, I'm just, because I was at the class for the Microsoft security, and I know a part of it was about classification. Can we generate those classifications with AI as well?
You mean your sensitivity label?
Yes.
No. So AI leverage on the sensitivity level of your organization already. So if you have the label, sensitivity level, it recognizes it. It's because of time. There are certain today we're only showing productivity. Maybe in the nearest future, I'll show you, or now you can even put policy around Copilot in your organization if you're using Copilot. You can put security policies on it. You can even determine whether you want Copilot. You can restrict Copilot to certain libraries that your users can query. You know what, like I said, if you're using Copilot for Microsoft 365, it's querying your SharePoint, your PowerPoint, your SharePoint, your OneDrive. So you can decide to say, oh, even when you are querying my organization data, these are data that should be exempted, probably maybe data that are very sensitive. And probably maybe if data is queried from this place at any time, maybe you want to apply some sort of sensitivity label to say this is confidential. You can decide to say that you put a what they call it, a sensitivity label to say once it is Copilot you use to generate that particular content, then this kind of sensitivity label you can customize to say this is what you want it to have. So you have that. But for you to generate sensitivity level, no, that has to be done by you. But the truth about it, I'm not a security, what's her name? Joy may be in the best position to answer if you can. I know you have Copilot in security, Microsoft security right now, the use case, but I may not be answering you 100% correct with your question. But as far as I know, can you generate sensitivity level with Copilot? As at now, I don't know. To be answered, for me, it's like you have your sensitivity level already, then you can now use that on it. But Joy will be in the best position to really answer that question. But I can get that also for you. Maybe by next week, if you are still on there, then we can revisit it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. Okay. All right. Lara, Lady Franca, are you still there? I'm not thinking about your shoe.
That's all right. Wow. Do we have any other question? Any other question? Wow, because if we allow MJ should go on and on. Yeah. We've spent almost two hours now. We've gone beyond schedule, but I'm sure we're all enjoying enjoying whatever she's saying now. Yeah. Thank you very much, MJ. Yeah. Okay, Lara, over to you.
Thank you very much, MJ. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate your time, and we thank you for having part of your Saturday with us. Session continues next week, and we said this recording is going to be available on YouTube. So please follow us on social media follow us on all our on YouTube. The link has been posted in the chat because it will be good to have a rewatch and probably share it with your colleagues and friends. So here is saying enjoy the rest of the weekend from all of us, and we'll see you next week, Saturday, same time, same link. Bye for now.